Today we're diving into the shadowy world of demonology, a realm where myth, fear and fascination intertwine. For centuries, humanity has been both terrified and captivated by the idea of demons, creatures that lurk in the shadows of our collective imagination. Among these dark figures, one stands out as especially notorious: Asmodeus, the demon of desire. His name echoes through the pages of history, whispered in hushed tones and written in cryptic scripts. But Asmodeus is more than just a name in old texts. He's a complex, ever-shifting character whose legend has traveled across continents and centuries, adapting to the beliefs and fears of each new era. He embodies lust, temptation, and cunning, but also serves as a reflection of our deepest anxieties and secret wishes. Through his story, we glimpse the eternal struggle between restraint and indulgence, between what we desire and what we fear. The tales of Asmodeus aren't just ancient warnings, they're mirrors held up to our own souls, exploring the vulnerabilities, ambitions, and contradictions that make us human. From the ruins of ancient Persia to the legendary court of King Solomon, and from sacred scriptures to the pages of modern fiction, Asmodeus's story continues to evolve, taking on new meanings with each retelling. Is he a force of pure evil, a cunning trickster, or simply a symbol of our own inner conflicts? The answer shifts depending on who's telling the story and what they fear or desire most. This isn't just about believing in demons, it's about understanding a powerful cultural archetype, one that still shapes our stories, our art, and even our understanding of ourselves today. So let's begin our journey into the many faces of Asmodeus, the demon of lust and desire, and discover what his enduring legend reveals about the human experience. Asmodeus's story begins in ancient Persia, rooted in Zoroastrianism's demon of wrath, Asmodeus. The name evolved as the myth traveled. In Jewish texts, he's Ashmedai, a mischievous, powerful spirit. In French, Asmodee. In Islamic lore, Sakhr, the rock. Each name reflects a unique cultural adaptation, but the core remains a force of chaos, temptation, and power. In Islam, Sakhr steals Solomon's ring and throne, showing how the archetype adapts to new faiths and stories. These shifting names aren't just translations, they're evidence of a myth that's been reimagined across civilizations. Whether as a wrathful demon, cunning trickster, or usurper, Asmodeus is one of demonology's most enduring figures. His journey through names and cultures reveals his adaptability and lasting symbolic power. Few mythic figures have traveled so far or worn so many faces. Asmodeus's most infamous role is found in the Book of Tobit, an ancient text that weaves together themes of love, loss, and supernatural intervention. In this story, Asmodeus is not just a distant evil, but a personal tormentor whose actions have devastating consequences for an innocent family. Here, he is depicted as a murderous spirit, driven by a jealous and possessive lust that borders on obsession. His presence is felt as a shadow over every hopeful moment, turning joy into terror. Asmodeus kills each of Sarah's 7 husbands on their wedding night, not out of simple wrath or vengeance, but to keep her for himself. Each marriage ends in tragedy before it can even begin, leaving Sarah isolated and shamed in her community. Through this, Asmodeus becomes a symbol of love twisted into something monstrous, desire that suffocates and destroys rather than nurtures. His actions show how unchecked passion can warp affection into something dangerous and destructive. Sarah, left in utter despair, prays for death, feeling cursed and hopeless. Her suffering reveals the deep emotional scars left by lust without love or commitment, and the pain of being trapped by forces beyond her control. But hope arrives in the form of Tobias, who, guided by the archangel Raphael, is given a unique ritual to drive Asmodeus away, burning the heart and liver of a special fish. This act is more than superstition. It represents the power of faith and divine guidance in overcoming evil. The smoke from the burning organs forces Asmodeus to flee in agony, and Raphael binds him, symbolizing the ultimate triumph of faith, courage, and wisdom over demonic power and destructive desire. This story cements Asmodeus as a dangerous demon of lust, serving as a timeless warning about the perils of unchecked passion and the havoc it can wreak on lives and relationships. Yet it's also a tale of hope and redemption, reminding us that even the darkest forces can be overcome with faith, wisdom, and the support of those who care for us. The legend of Asmodeus endures as a powerful moral lesson, urging us to recognize the dangers of obsession and to seek love that heals rather than harms. In the Talmud, Asmodeus, here called Asmodeus, emerges as a complex figure, not merely a villain but a cunning trickster, whose motives are often shrouded in mystery. He is both feared and respected, a being who operates in the shadows between worlds, testing the limits of human wisdom and divine authority. King Solomon, renowned for his wisdom, faces a unique challenge. He must construct the temple in Jerusalem without using iron tools, which are considered impure for such a sacred task. The only way to achieve this is with the shamir, a legendary worm said to have the power to cut through stone effortlessly. Yet the shamir's whereabouts are a closely guarded secret, known only to Asmodeus. The demon's knowledge becomes the key to fulfilling Solomon's divine mission. Using his legendary cunning, Solomon devises a plan to capture Asmodeus. He lures the demon with wine, intoxicating him and binding him in chains. Only then, under duress, does Asmodeus reveal the secret location of the shamir. What follows are a series of sharp, witty exchanges between Solomon and Asmodeus. Their conversations are filled with riddles, cryptic wisdom, and moments where the demon exposes the flaws and follies of humankind, challenging even the wisest of kings. But pride proves to be Solomon's undoing. When he entrusts Asmodeus with his magical ring, a symbol of his authority, the demon seizes the opportunity, usurping Solomon's throne, and casting the great king into exile, forcing him to wander the world in humility. After a long and humbling journey, Solomon eventually reclaims his ring and his throne. His return is not just a restoration of power, but a profound lesson in humility, reminding us of the dangers of underestimating those who seem beneath us. These stories paint Asmodeus as both adversary and reluctant collaborator, a figure who blurs the boundaries between good and evil, and whose actions force even the greatest to confront their own weaknesses. Asmodeus is a source of both chaos and knowledge, a constant reminder that wisdom is never absolute and must be defended against cunning and temptation. The legend endures as a warning. Even the mightiest kings can fall to pride, and true wisdom lies in humility and vigilance. Asmodeus's role deepens in Jewish Kabbalah, where he's sometimes linked to King David's line or paired with Lilith, forming a demonic royal family. These stories map out a complex infernal society with Asmodeus as a king among demons, not just a lone tormentor. In Islamic tradition, Sakhr is the great adversary of Solomon, stealing his ring and throne before being imprisoned in a bottle and cast into the sea. This image inspired the genie in a bottle trope in later folklore. Across traditions, Asmodeus is always a ruler, commanding legions, wielding intelligence, and posing a structured threat to divine order. He's not a minor demon, but a king whose power and cunning make him a formidable adversary. These tales emphasize that temptation and chaos are organized, not random, and led by powerful forces. Asmodeus's royal status is central to his enduring myth. In Christian demonology, Asmodeus becomes the embodiment of lust, his identity solidified during the Middle Ages. The brands him as the demon tempting humans with carnal desires, threatening marriages, and promoting vice. Peter Binsfeld's classification pairs him with the deadly sin of lust, a link that shapes his image for centuries. Asmodeus is now the infernal prince of sexual temptation, twisting desire into a path toward spiritual ruin. His actions in the Book of Tobit are reinterpreted as the ultimate assault on marriage and fidelity. He's seen as the enemy of family life, inciting passion for selfish gratification. This focus cements his reputation as the specialist in carnal temptation, a force to be resisted. In Christian lore, Asmodeus is the face of lust's dangers and the struggle for self-control. As Asmodeus's legend grew, so did the vividness of his appearance and powers. That describes him with 3 heads, a man, a bull, and a ram, legs of a rooster, a serpent's tail, and riding a dragon. That names him a king commanding 72 legions, warning magicians to approach with caution. He's not just a monster, he's a keeper of knowledge, able to teach sciences, reveal treasures, and grant invisibility. This duality, terrifying and wise, echoes his earlier roles as both adversary and teacher. He's also said to preside over gambling houses in hell, linking him to vice beyond lust. Asmodeus's monstrous form and vast powers make him a symbol of temptation's many faces. He's both a threat and a source of forbidden knowledge, always tempting mortals to overreach. Asmodeus escaped religious texts to become a fixture in literature and art. In and its French adaptation, he's a witty, limping demon who exposes society's secrets, not a monster but a satirical observer. This playful version influenced centuries of literature, making him a symbol of uncovering hidden truths. Yet his name still inspired fear. He was blamed for possessions, like the Loudon nuns in 17th century France. Even in politics, his name was used as a pseudonym to criticize Abraham Lincoln. Asmodeus's adaptability is remarkable. Monster, trickster, critic or symbol, he fits any story's needs. He's a mirror for society's anxieties and hypocrisies, always ready to reveal what lies beneath. From ancient demon to literary archetype, his journey shows the enduring power of myth. Asmodeus remains a cultural chameleon, ever relevant and ever changing. Asmodeus is more than a villain, he's an enduring archetype shaped by centuries of storytelling. From Zoroastrian wrath to Christian lust, his identity is a mosaic of human fears and desires. He's both monster and satirist, a symbol of the evil we fear and the temptations we face within. His stories are cautionary tales and moral allegories showing the power of myth to confront our deepest anxieties. Naming demons like Asmodeus helps us understand and battle the forces that threaten us, both real and imagined. He's a character in the eternal drama between order and chaos, faith and temptation. Asmodeus's legend endures because the struggles he represents are timeless. Whether demon or symbol, his story is a dark mirror of our own nature. The battle against lust, pride and temptation is one every generation must face anew.